AID ordering the government on an accelerated basis to basically reinstate the agency's statutory functions. Your reaction to this development?
Look at the fraud that we've caught. We've caught so much fraud, so much waste, so many employees that never showed up to work, and we have a judge from a very liberal state who ruled like that. So bad for our country.
So I guess they closed the department. They're going to have to reopen the department.
Well, we'll be appealing it, I guess. Not I guess. I guarantee you. We will be appealing it. We have rogue judges that are destroying our country.
Well, do you believe that at this point, given the totality of these lawsuits, it's a cavalcade of lawsuits, that your administration could be further hampered, your agenda could be slowed down? They're throwing monkey wrenches at you with these judicial rulings.
Well, we have to go through an appellate process. That takes a long time.
We have seen the acceleration of two things over the past month of Donald Trump's presidency. The first, unfortunately, being Donald Trump's complete abandonment of our ally in Ukraine, which was culminated really yesterday in his call with Vladimir Putin, and which he essentially sold out Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. Then followed it up with an interview with Laura Ingraham where he just couldn't stop praising Putin. But the other thing that we've seen a lot of in the past month at the Trump presidency is a lot better. And that is the nonstop booing of Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans across the country. And those two things came together at a town hall last night in which Donald Trump's Putin praise in abandonment of Ukraine was mercilessly booed. And we are going to get into all of that. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way and really does mean a lot to me. Now, like I said, this was a mass booing of Donald Trump. But before we get into it, I want a bit of context on what they were so upset about with two clips from Donald Trump's interview with Laura Ingraham.
Putin actually said to me, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as my enemy. He said that very strongly. But with all of that, I had a very good relationship with Putin. I had a very good relationship with President Xi, a very good relationship with Kim Jong-un of North Korea. Lots of good relationships. And that's a positive thing. That's not a negative thing. But at the same time, I'm about our country. So that's why we're talking about tariffs. Will be taking in trillions of dollars.
I want to get to the tariffs in a minute because we're going to first hit the AID ordering the government on an accelerated basis to basically reinstate the agency's statutory functions. Your reaction to this development?
Look at the fraud that we've caught. We've caught so much fraud, so much waste, so many employees that never showed up to work, and we have a judge from a very liberal state who ruled like that. So bad for our country.
So I guess they closed the department. They're going to have to reopen the department.
Well, we'll be appealing it, I guess. Not I guess. I guarantee you. We will be appealing it. We have rogue judges that are destroying our country.
Well, do you believe that at this point, given the totality of these lawsuits, it's a cavalcade of lawsuits, that your administration could be further hampered, your agenda could be slowed down? They're throwing monkey wrenches at you with these judicial rulings.
Well, we have to go through an appellate process. That takes a long time.
Those two clips really just say it all. Donald Trump is openly admitting she thinks Vladimir Putin is his friend and is thus doing him a favor because he's been so completely swayed. He's that easy to win over. I'm not even to say easy to win over. He's that stupid. Donald Trump is that stupid and insecure that Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping are batting their collective eyelashes at him, and he immediately folds and on the Canada thing. It is crazy that you have Laura Ingraham pushing back on Donald Trump's attacks on our allies, both in Ukraine and our neighbors to the north in Canada. Like, that is crazy that Laura Ingraham is trying to shape Donald Trump's foreign policy because he is that incompetent and putting us in that much danger. But it wasn't the only example of the reason that crowds last night were upset with Donald Trump. So before we get into the boos, I want to play another example of what they were so upset about.
Do you consider what's happening an act of domestic political terrorism against one of your allies?
So Elon is a patriot. And again, I hardly knew Elon until the election. And he turned out that he liked me better than he liked these radical lunatics that were in it, better than Kamala, better than Joe, because he's an intelligent person. And he backed me, and he went, and he got very much involved. He actually would go around saying, if Trump doesn't win, our country is over.
But do you consider this an act of domestic terrorism?
I think so.
Why?
I think that if and when they catch the people, and I hope they do, the good thing is they have a lot of cameras in those places, and they've caught some already having to do with that. I think that you will find out that they're paid by people that are very highly political on the left.
Of course, lighting Teslas on fire in attacking dealerships is wrong. Protest of Tesla and Elon Musk at large should be peaceful, and they have been. So the fact that this is drawing Donald Trump's focus is one, ridiculous, and two, hypocritical, because he pardoned violent insurrectionists, and like I said, all of this coming together led to the beautiful boos we saw last night. And I want to play two clips of the boos and a certain chant directed at Elon Musk.
Question is here.
Hi, I do want to thank you for actually doing a town hall, so thank you for that. The rest of it's probably not going to be so pleasant. So first of all, I do want to say shame. I want to say shame for your comment, your quote that you said, President Zelensky's approach today was disrespectful to President Trump and undermines the goal of bringing peace and that. So shame on that. But, second of all, I am the daughter, the niece, the sister of veterans, Korea veteran, Iraqi war. I have received the American Legion Auxiliary newsletter for quite a long time. For decades, they have stated that we are underfunded and understaffed, repeatedly stated that. You have said otherwise with Doge. Who's lying, them or you?
We owe our veterans the best possible care we can afford. I'm going to say it again. It's a promise we made. It's a promise we'll keep. And it is important not just to Republicans. It's important to Democrats. It's important to independents. Supporting our military and supporting our veterans is something that should unite us as Americans. And I will work as your member of Congress to address that. I do believe that that White House meeting was a disaster. And I believe that President Zelensky should have signed that agreement. The other thing I believe is that you read from a press report, and in that same press report, I said 4 things. I said, number 1, Ukraine should give up no land to Russia. They should return the 20,000 kidnapped kids. We should support NATO, and we should have better relations with Ukraine. That has been my position on Ukraine from the start. Next question.
All right. We have another question from over here.
Such a sweet, sweet sound. Both the voters in a red district calling out their Republican Congressman S for supporting Donald Trump's attack on Zelensky, and of course calling out Donald Trump himself, but also the cheers of tax the rich. I love to hear it. So beautiful. This isn't just about Donald Trump. It's about his co-president as well, and the government for the billionaires, and sure as hell. By the billionaires that they are building right now, it is incredibly unpopular, and this is our moment to call it out. It's not just the Elon stuff, it's the foreign policy as well. Rachel Maddow talked all about that in this clip right here.
Today, 24,000 people who Trump has fired from federal government jobs got reinstated, thanks to a court order from a federal judge in Maryland. This is the lawsuit that was brought by 20 Democratic attorneys general in 19 states and Washington, D.C. This judge's order today forces the reinstatement of, again, 24,000 people that Trump has fired from 18 different agencies. The Education Department, the FDIC, which is the agency that provides insurance so your bank deposits are insured and you don't have to worry about them going away if you put your money in a bank. They're going after FDIC too. Yes, they are. The Commerce Department, Health and Human Services, Energy Department, the VA, Interior Department, Labor Department, USDA, General Services Administration, the Small Business Administration, the Transportation Department, the Treasury, the EPA, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, USAID. Again, 24,000 employees fired by the Trump administration from those entities, reinstated by that court ruling today. And speaking of USAID, Additionally, on top of that ruling where USAID employees are reinstated by court order along with all those other agencies, a standalone blockbuster ruling from another federal judge today specifically ordering the Trump administration to reconstitute USAID and stop their efforts to shut it down, even to let them back into their building. The judge in this case said that the shutdown of USAID, quote, likely violated the United States Constitution in multiple ways. And in his very short 2-page order today, he ordered that the Trump administration must reopen USAID. This is from the order. This is interesting. Quote, for purposes of the order, defendants refers to Elon Musk in his official capacity, to any USAID employees or contractors. There can be no termination of USAID contracts or grants, no closures of USAID buildings or bureaus or offices, no permanent shutdowns or terminations of any USAID IT systems. Within 14 days, defendants shall submit to this court a written agreement among all necessary parties that ensures that USAID will be able to reoccupy its building, will be able to reoccupy USAID headquarters at the Ronald Reagan Building in Washington, D.C. So they all get their jobs back. They get back in the building, they get all their emails back, and all electronic systems related to the operations of that agency, including all contracts and everything that applies both to employees and contractors. You need to stand that agency back up. Because what you have done to shut it down thus far, quote, likely violated the U.S. Constitution in multiple ways. Now, this, of course, will be appealed. This will not be the final word. You know, even if Trump and his top campaign donor, Elon Musk, continue to lose this badly in court on this case, there's no telling how they'll try to finagle their way out of it anyway. But, you know, thinking about the dimmer switch between democracy and dictatorship, the courts here are drawing a line. And for all, you know, Trump and Musk's sadistic glee about calling these people who work for the U.S. government criminals and, you know, removing their name from the building, and Elon Musk giggling and talking about putting it in a wood chipper, for all of their glee and sadism about this stuff, they're losing. They're losing under U.S. law. USAID, as of today, is hereby ordered back into existence under federal law. Trump was also soundly beaten in court today on his effort to try to throw trans service members out of the military. Now, the judge's ruling in this case is very measured and calm, but it just ripped.
Everything, and I mean everything, Donald Trump is doing right now is so incredibly unpopular. It is a huge mistake. If Democrats do not take every opportunity they possibly can to call him out on every reaction, and I know there's a lot of worry within the party if it's worth it or not to focus on foreign policy, if people will care about the aid that we give to Ukraine, or whether immigration is too much of a winning issue for Donald Trump for us to call out the way that he is unlawfully carrying out this mass deportation plan. But I disagree. You cannot be scared in this moment, and you can also not be scared if you want to be a leader. That's why you were elected. Go and do your job and call him out. We are certainly going to be doing so on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around to the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. Until next time, I'll see you soon.